Welcome back. In this lesson, we're going to be looking at the brush tool. Now, what is the brush tool? The brush tool is used to paint on your canvas, just like a real paintbrush. Instead of real paint, you use colors, shapes, and textures. You can control size, hardness, opacity, and flow to get different effects. So let's dive straight into it. The shortcut for your brush tool is the B. And here the B on your keyboard, you're going to be having that there. So when you right click, you have your pencil, your color replacement, your mixer brush tool. But attention will be on the brush tool today. So before we continue, okay, we just create a new layer there. So we're going to be painting on this layer. Most of the times, I think it's better to paint on a different layer or a new layer, so that whenever you are whenever you don't like what you've painted, you could just turn the layer off and you're good to go. So now B for my brush tool, okay, and then just drag across and I paint. I'm going to be having my brush there. I will undo. Of course, we have the opacity. So if I drop the opacity down, you can see opacity is more like the transparency. Bring it down. If I take it to 100, I have this there. But most importantly, when you click here, we're going to be having let's say different kinds of brushes. We have the soft round brush, which is like this, undo. We have the hard round, which of course you can see how it is, right? All of this still control by the opacity and so on and so forth. All right, so going down there, we have other types like your dry brush. Let's just click this so that we can have an overview of the different brushes that we have. So we have the general brushes, the dry media brushes, the wet media brushes, the special effect brushes. So this can come in handy at times. If you click there, you can create this beautiful effect, more like a background or something. So you have that there to pull from. Let's check. You have that is for the special effect. Let's check the wet media brush. You could pull this up at times to create something there. So all of these are available, but I will spend more time in the general brushes. Okay, so we have the hard round, we have the soft round pressure size, okay, which can create such effects. So it is cool to use. Now, one thing about the brush is that we have the size and the hardness. If you observe, when I take my hardness, let's say I decide to choose the soft round and I take my hardness up there, of course it won't be hard again because I've tweaked my hardness. But if I bring it down, see what happens. The edges are soft. Another thing is your size. If you take this so high, let's say so high like this, like so, yeah, it becomes so big. You just click that there and I'm good to go. And if I take this down, it becomes so tiny. Another thing I love doing is to use my shortcuts. If I use my square brackets like so, I can increase the size of my brush size. Okay, so finally, before we move on to the next tutorial, is something called the brush settings. Okay, your brush settings. So this is your brush setting panel. If you cannot find yours, just go to your Windows, go to your brush settings. Now we have different brushes here. If I click this and I draw a straight line, I click the under, draw a straight line, I click maybe this, draw a straight line. You can see they're giving me different feel. Drop the size a bit. I come down here, maybe play around with this. So this can come in handy at times when drawing. And the part of this brush settings that I feel it's a win for me is the fact that you could just come here. Of course, you see how my brush is right. I could reduce this like so, and then my brush just, you get the point. Let's say maybe I want to create more like a glow effect. First of all, or a shadow effect. Let me make this big. and let's make this quite tiny like this. Can click once, or of course, so let's say in this case I could decide to come here, go to my let's say the soft round pressure size, and I'll come in here and okay, this is low. I could click this, of course, maybe increase the size a bit. Okay, let's drag this out like so. Let me zoom in. Let me drag this out to this point, and back to my previous side, and I'll make this bigger, right? And click that. Probably reduce the opacity. First and foremost, I want this to be on different layers. So I have this on this layer. I'll create another layer there and draw something like so on top. So I can switch this and maybe reduce the opacity of this. Let's see what this will look like. If I turn everything down, I could just increase the size like so. So this could be, you could use this for the base of, let's say somebody walking and you want to create that, you know, effect of him interacting on the floor. This can fly. Anyways, this is to just give you an introduction to your brushes. We've touched different kinds of brushes, your opacity, of course your brush settings. There's a lot to do here. You could even rotate this if you want. So when I come here now, it will be like this, like so, put in your angle, and I think that should fly. But to understand how and have a full control of your brush sizes and your brushes, make sure they're on different layers so that you could draw something here, turn it off, turn it on anytime, and okay, have a great composition. All right, thank you. See you in the next video.